This video is not going to be for everyone. I am going to talk about YouTube and algorithms and search engine optimization and subscriber counts, but I am also going to talk about art and passion and creativity and why I am becoming increasingly convinced that social media, and perhaps YouTube especially, are the enemies to all of that. I want to start back, way back, and explain how I ended up here. From the earliest moment that I can remember, from the first moment that I could pick up a pen and write words, I have felt compelled to tell stories, to record the events of my own life, but then also to engage my imagination and talk about the things that I am captivated by. As I have grown and matured and gained life experience, I have also become absolutely fascinated with the little things that make everyday moments spectacular. The way that sunlight shines through a leaf, the way that it reflects off water or hits and creates shadows on a wall, the steam rising from a coffee cup, the movement of clouds over a landscape. And if you've watched any of my videos, I would think that my fascination with those things would be pretty self-evident, because as time has gone on, those are the things that I have fallen in love with capturing and then turning into stories to share with you. When I was younger, the only way that I had to tell stories was with a pen and paper. But then as I got older, with the advent of the internet and the creation of social media on platforms like YouTube, that modality took on a new dimension, and I was able to expand past pen and paper or past a keyboard and explore videography and photography. And I have fallen in love with that artistic side of creation and everything that you can do with film and photography. You take those things and you bring language into it, and you can create something absolutely magical that captivates your audience and leaves them with a feeling or an impression, or it can inspire them in some way. And I think that that's beautiful, and that's all that I want to do. So years ago now, 2018, I started putting videos on YouTube. But actually, my presence on this platform goes back even further than that. Years and before that, before I even left home, I started recording myself singing and playing guitar and doing covers or doing my own original work and publishing them on this platform. You will not find any of those videos now. I took them all down just because I was very, very young when I put them out there, and the quality was not very good. I filmed it on whatever little crappy phone that I had at the time, so the video quality was not good. But also, I just felt a little bit overexposed by it and felt like I should preserve that memory just within my own self rather than having it live on the internet. So I took all of those videos down, but my desire to create something and share it with an audience is not new. So in 2018, I decided to revisit that desire that I had and start putting videos out here. And the journey that I have been on since I started doing that has been a really interesting one. I've learned a lot about myself, a lot about my creative process, a lot about what I want to do when I have a camera in my hand and the ability to share a story. And as time has gone on, I have had this growing sense that something is wrong. Something is not quite right. And I think that it stems from YouTube. A few weeks ago, I accidentally permanently deleted a huge portion of the footage that I had recorded that was going to be turned into a video about how we installed a 48-volt mini split on our camper. I was really, really excited about that video because it was a little bit of a how-to, but it was also just a really interesting story about something that we were doing that we had never done before. And I was excited to share that. So losing that footage was really, really upsetting, and it knocked me off kilter for a while, and I don't even know if I'm fully back from it. But it's also given me pause to think about what I am doing here and how I am going to accomplish my ultimate goal, which is to tell stories and share them with other people. I started this channel in 2018. I had 0 subscribers. Everybody starts out somewhere. If you had told me that however many years later it would be, how many years is that? 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 6 years? If somebody had told me that 6 years from when I started that channel, I would be practically no further along than when I started in regards to subscribers and everything like that, I think that my approach to creating videos would have been very different. I would have still been making videos, absolutely. That I would make videos, I would shoot photography and edit photos and create stories with video and write if nobody was watching. But if somebody had told me that, hey, you're going to spend all this time, devote all of this energy, hone this craft, and at the end of it all, or at least at this point, you will have no real momentum to show for it, I think that my approach to things would have been very, very different. My channel has eked along, and I don't really know why. But I think I'm beginning to kind of close in on a possible reason. When I started my channel, I was just kind of throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, which I think is good, and I think that you should do that when you are starting out, doing something new that you've never done before, creating an art style that you've never used before. Everybody's going to suck at first, and I think it's good to just kind of go into it with 0 expectations and just see what happens. But then at some point, as time was going on and I was continuing to do it, I thought, you know, I should probably get a little bit more focused about this because I'm devoting a lot of time and energy to it. And it would be really, really cool if this could turn into something that could be a vehicle for me to live the kind of life that I want to live, to have the freedoms that I want to have. Even so, it took me up until last year to actually say the words, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to make videos that people want to watch, and I want to be able to support myself doing that. 6 years. And it took me up until last year to be able to say that. I think because I was afraid of being phony or being another millennial on the internet. I wanted to be authentic, and I didn't know if the phrase, I want to be a YouTuber, was inherently authentic. I didn't know if that really captured the entirety of what I was wanting to do. But I finally said that. And then this past January, at the start of the year, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get really serious about this, and I'm going to try to play the game. Because I have been consistently, for the last at least 3.5 years, perhaps longer, been doing the same style of content. Lifestyle, vlogs, travel, a little bit of DIY. It's been very consistently the same thing, and yet my channel growth has been pretty non-existent. If you look at my analytics, and I will pop up a picture here so that you can see the trend over the last X number of years since I started this channel, the growth has been minimal. It's been there, but I will need to do this for another 10 or 15 years before I get to the point where I am able to support myself. That is just the reality. I am not one of those people who have had like a viral video. I've had videos do very well, but not one of those people who's had a viral video and then gained a mass number of subscribers. So from a capitalistic perspective, I have very little to show for all of the work that I have done. And that is okay, but I'm working my way to a point here, so just try to stick with me if you can. So this January, I decided, okay, I've been doing the same kind of thing. I'm going to get really focused about it. I'm going to try to play the analytics game, and I'm going to try to do this thing properly. I'm going to try to be more consistent. I'm going to show up on my channel, and we'll just see what happens. So I decided to commit to doing 2 videos a week. One video about something specific, and then one video that's more of like a vlog lifestyle thing about us renovating our home, about traveling, about whatever I feel like doing. I thought that would be a good balance. And the reason why I thought that was because I had a conversation with somebody who has a bigger channel than I, and their chiefest piece of advice to me was to make content that people want to watch. They said that it's not necessarily enough that you're making content that you enjoy. You have to be creating a product for people to consume. And that makes sense from a consumerist perspective. You have to be, at least in the society that we live in this world that we live in, you have to be offering something of some type of value, something that somebody else recognizes as having value in order for you to get anything in return. That made sense to me, and I decided to see what I could do with that. And so I've been uploading 2 videos a week. But I have learned something from this that I was not expecting, and that is that I really hate talking on camera. And you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't make sense because you just uploaded a lengthy video of you doing nothing but talking. The only reason why that is working right now is because what I am telling you right now has been weighing so heavily on my heart and soul and mind that if I don't get these words out of me and share what I have been going through, I am going to just kind of go crazy. But sitting down and scripting out a video and talking about our refrigerator that we installed and why we love it, or talking about this hitch extension that we have that we're using, as much as I am happy about having the opportunity to talk about that hitch extension or talk about this really cool fridge, it's also kind of painful for me because I don't like being the single focus of the content that I create. I don't like having to follow this script, and I really hate the affectation that I take on when I assume that role. Being a YouTuber in that capacity, sitting down in front of a camera like I am right now and talking about a refrigerator, I enter this place in my head, it's almost like I disassociate from reality, and I force myself to play the role that I think I should be playing in order to create that style of content. And I fucking hate it. The algorithm is a monster that you feed. And you feed it, and you feed it, and you feed it, and you feed it. And you hope that at some point down the line, it will give you something back in return. It will not eviscerate you as much as it could. You hope that you will be able to carve out a niche for yourself within that digital space where you can exist and live the life that you want to live. But you must never forget that you are feeding a monster. And the second that you stop feeding it, it will, at best, forget that you exist. And you will just completely fall off the radar. I have been trying to feed that monster since January. And success for success's sake is okay. What I have been doing has been working. I have gained more followers. I have gotten better views. But the views that I have been getting are on videos that I did not enjoy creating, that I don't feel inspired by, and that I honestly dread shooting and editing and putting together. It just doesn't feed my soul. And unfortunately, for me, I am one of those people who, if I cannot find some inherent value or feel that what I am doing is serving me and the life that I want to create in some meaningful way, then it's really, really, really hard for me to get excited about it. Perhaps if I was doing some type of humanitarian work or something like that, something where I am pouring out of myself completely with no expectation of anything in return, I think that would be different, because I would be turning my effort into a net good for somebody else. I like to serve, and I love to do acts of service. It's my primary love language. And so doing that, I think, would be okay. I mean, it's why I spend so much time volunteering, because I do find it very, very fulfilling. But the internet does not need another video talking about a refrigerator, or talking about, what are other videos that I have done since January? Ziploc bags, or anything else. There are already a plethora of that kind of video, if that is what you're looking for. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're looking for, or if you're the creator and that is genuinely what you want to create because you see value in it. There's nothing wrong with that. This is purely about me and where I derive value, and I don't feel fulfilled by that kind of thing. And so the views that I've been getting, the subscribership that I have been kind of growing, it has felt very hollow, because I've been feeding this monster, and it has been taking quite a lot from me, and I have very little to show for it. And so the thought that has been going through my mind lately is, if I continue to do what I am doing, and I eventually do reach that place where I want to be, I'm able to carve out a niche for myself and be semi-successful enough to support myself, how will that feel if I gained it all doing it this way, when I don't even love what I'm doing? That it makes me want to just cry. Because I made a promise to myself years ago that I would not let myself fall into the trap of doing something because I was convinced I must do it, because, well, it just has to be this way so that we can put food on the table, because, well, I just have to do this because we need to be able to pay the bills, because all of the reasons why people stay stuck and miserable when there are other things that are calling to them that they would rather do instead. And I have found that I have fallen into that trap a little bit. I don't want to be the next big thing on the internet. I don't want to be the next big DIY channel, the next big travel vlogger. I really appreciate the channels out there that are like that, and I know that those hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers in some cases were very hard bought. It took a lot of dedication and hard work and effort to get to that point. But there's also a little bit extra that comes with that. There's extra responsibility. There's an expectation that's placed upon you, and you end up in a box regardless of whether or not you want to be there. And I don't want that. I just want to be able to share stories that I love about my life, or about the places that I go, the things that I do, and to be able to support myself doing it. That is really the crux of it. And so something has got to change. And I think if you look at my content here recently, you can see a pretty clear indication of what I'm talking about here, because there are the videos that I make that I feel that I must make in order for my channel to progress, the talking head style videos that I upload in the middle of the week. And then there are the videos that I actually want to make, the videos that inspire me and excite me and fulfill me, the vlogs and the ambient videos. Those two things are like polar opposites, and I feel like I am this like Jekyll and Hyde character trying to occupy two spaces at once when I really only just want to be in one. And if you compare my most recent video and my second most recent video, you can see what I'm talking about. You can see why I feel that I have to do one thing and why it is so hard to do the thing that I love. Because for whatever reason, the thing that I love does not seem to resonate with people. But I can upload videos doing product reviews till I am blue in the face, and there will be plenty of people to watch them. So I can keep feeding that monster, or I can say to hell with it and do what I love. And at this point, I am tired of doing what I feel I must, and I only want to do what I love because I have nothing to lose. I have been doing the same style of thing for 6 years, and I have very little to show for it. So really what that tells me is that I have nothing to gain, really, from continuing to do this style of content that sucks my soul dry, except maybe 1 or 2 new subscribers, or maybe 50 more views, and everything to lose if I do not honor the push and drive that I feel to do the thing that lights me up inside. It is really, really difficult to make that decision. You would think it would be super easy. Just do what you love. And on the surface, that sounds very obvious and simple. But it is difficult because I know that if I do what I love, any progress that I have seen in the last few months will completely disappear. The numbers just don't lie. And I have wondered often whether or not being a YouTuber is just like a pipe dream that I have, and that I need to let it go because it's just never going to happen. If you've ever been the kid picked last in gym class, or the kid that nobody wants to play with, then you'll understand exactly how I'm feeling. Because you can take that same kind of feeling and apply it in this situation to a YouTube channel that nobody really seems to want to watch, to works of art that nobody really seems to appreciate. That is hard. And anybody who says that they don't care whether or not anybody watches their stuff or pays attention to what they're doing, I think is lying. Because there is no motivation to do this unless you are really passionate about something and you really, really want to share it with other people. And then to have nobody really give a shit is very demoralizing. There's this Taylor Swift song, and I know not everyone likes Taylor Swift. This isn't about her. I love the music, and I love it because of the effort that I know goes into writing songs like that. But regardless, that's beside the point. She has a song, and one of the lines says, "Nobody wanted to play with me as a little child, so I've been scheming like a criminal ever since, to make them love me and make it seem effortless." Something like that. That's what I feel like I have been doing with this YouTube channel. I have been scheming to try to capture this algorithmic wave and ride it to my destination, and to make it seem like it is effortless. But it's not. It's really, really hard. And even more so when you don't really feel like you're honoring your creativity and the things that motivated you to start doing this in the first place. I have thought a really, really long time about this. I have prayed about it. I have dreamed about it. I have cried about it. I have talked to Stuart about it many, 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 many times. I really, really love telling stories, and I really, really love making videos and photography and writing. I love all of those things so much. So much so that I know that even if I said, I am quitting YouTube and this is the last video I will ever upload, that would be a lie, because it will just be a matter of time before I put together something that is, in my mind, so spectacular and amazing that I just have to share it. So I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that I'm leaving YouTube. But the landscape of my channel and the type of videos that I am uploading is going to be changing dramatically. I don't want to talk as much as I do. I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the identity that I assume when I sit in that space. I just don't want any part of it anymore. So I'm not going to do it anymore. That's not to say that I won't talk. If I have something that I need to say, or that I want to say, or that I want to share, genuinely that I want to share, not that I feel like I must, so that I can capture those views and get that algorithm wave and get people to watch my channel. I don't care about that anymore. I never really have, and I think that that discordance between what I actually care about and what I feel that I should care about because I'm on YouTube, I don't care anymore. So I'm not going to do it. What I want to do, what I really, really want to do, is the style of video that I uploaded this past Sunday, with ambient sounds, with a focus on the tiny details, shadows on a wall and sunlight through a leaf and steam rising from a coffee cup and propane hissing against the bottom of a pot, and my life, which I am really, really in love with and obsessed with and excited to be living and feeling very, very lucky to have. That is what I want to focus on in that video last Sunday, was that. Views-wise, it bombed. But the people that I actually care about, the voices that I actually listen to, my friends and my family, my fiance, all said that they loved it. And that it was the best video that I had done in a while. And that they wanted to see more of it. And I think it's because these people know me, and they know when I am being true to myself and doing what I genuinely love, and when I am just playing a role. I'm not a performer, really. I like to speak. I like to have genuine conversations. That's why I like podcasting so much. But I also just like to be quiet and just let the story tell itself. And I am feeling very, very drawn to doing that. And I think that I have to do that, because if I continue to do what I've been doing, I will have a breakdown. I am not a product, and my work is not a product. It is an extension of myself. And that sounds corny, maybe, but it's the reality, because I have an artist's heart. I get very emotionally invested in the things that I do. I have been like that my entire life, and I can't change, no matter how much I might want to. And I have to be true to who I am. And I have to do what my soul is demanding that I do. Even if nobody wants to watch it, and even if nobody cares. And even if that means that my goals and ambitions for this channel will never come to fruition. I have felt for a while now that there is something shifting and changing in my life. Past just the obvious, past just the moving across state lines and getting engaged and doing all of these things. There is something fundamental that is shifting and changing. The surface of my life is morphing. And I think that this is a huge part of that. And if I continue to push and resist that, and try to continue to do what I have been doing, it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I don't know where I'm gonna end up if I do that, but it's not gonna be where I want to be. And there is a change that is needed. Changes that are already happening. And I have the choice whether or not I want to be a part of that and go along with it, or resist it. And resistance is just never the answer. So, that is where my head has been these last few weeks. And I really felt like I needed to share this, because I need there to be a clean demarcation between before and after. I've had demarcations like this before, and I have always paid attention to them and paid attention to that feeling that I have. And it has, as of yet, has not steered me wrong. So I don't think it's going to steer me wrong now. I want the work that I do to be a reflection of who I really am, not a reflection of who I think I am expected to be as someone on this planet, as someone in this society, as someone on this platform. I have pretty good instincts, and I've been ignoring them for a while, and I think that I need to tune back in and start letting my intuition and my desire to create be the things that drive me, not my ego and my desire for a certain standard that I think I'm supposed to want. So there's a lot more that I could say, but I think that gets my point across. I know this video is kind of messy, and I'm not really planning on editing it much, because, again, that kind of defeats the whole point of the conversation that I've just had. I think it's really, really important for people to be reminded of the things that don't have a price tag and can't be monetized. Like artistic drive and humanity and soul. You can't put a price tag on that. They're not algorithm friendly. And I know that. And I'm okay with it. Because my dad always has had this expression. He says, you're either a part of the solution or you're a part of the problem. And I've been a part of the problem. And it's time for me to be a part of the solution. For myself and my own life. In the world that I want to create for myself. So, that is it.